360 Sports Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 360 Sports Podcast show. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button and share. Now, enjoy the show.
All right, guys, welcome to the 360 Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Penland, alongside with Robert Alfonso. We have a special guest today. He is the girls basketball coach, Alan Griffin. He won the Lanierland Tournament. He's been at Gainesville for 3 years, and he took home the championship game last Wednesday. Coach, congratulations, and appreciate you jumping on the show today.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me. This is great.
All right, Rob, I'm going to let Rob go ahead and start the show off. Go ahead, Rob.
Coach, again, congratulations again on obviously a great way to end the old year, and be able to jump onto it. Talk to me about what you're feeling or what your feelings were about winning that gold trophy, because it's probably one of the most talked about things in Hall County.
Yeah. The word that comes to mind is humbling. And, I always used to think I'd hear coaches win a championship and I'd hear them say, they're just so humbled. And I always thought, man, what does that even mean? Like, that don't even make any sense. But when we won it and I started talking about it, and it's just humbling. And it's so humbling because of the caliber championship it is. Lanierland is special. And you talk about 61 consecutive years. There's only so many coaches and so many players who have gotten to hold that trophy. So to be able to put, for the Gainesville girls to be able to do it, and for me to be the coach, it's humbling. It's a special thing, and I'm blessed to have gotten to coach this team and coach in this tournament.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, having been a part of it myself, as well as AP has been part of it as a player. I've been part of it as a coach. It is overwhelming, and unfortunately, none of the girls nor yourself had a chance to truly experience what Lanierland is in terms of crowd, in terms of community unity due to COVID and the minimal crowds. But how did you and your girls discuss Lanierland, going into Lanierland, as well as once it was done and you had a chance to really celebrate and talk with your girls about it? What were some of the things you guys reflected on or thought about?
Well, going into Lanierland, it's pretty easy to focus the kids because they want to win it so bad. And the special thing about Lanierland is it's so open. Anybody can beat anybody. This year there were truly really 6 girls teams I thought could win it. And to me, my message was you got to win the first one to win the last one. And the first one, to me, is so difficult because that's when the emotion's at the highest. And, the kids want to go win the championship on the first day. And everybody, until you lose that first round, you're in it. Mm-hmm. So, it doesn't matter who you're playing, you're going to get probably their best effort of the year. So we worked. We played our last game Saturday before Christmas break. So we got 4 practices, and it was all Cherokee Bluff. We didn't look ahead at all. We just worked on Cherokee Bluff. So that's what our focus was going all the way up into Monday was winning that first round game. And then, we got to North Hall, and I knew that was going to be a nail biter, and I was worried about North Hall just because they're so fundamental. They execute. They missed 1 free throw in that entire ball game. So we made that foul and 3-point play with less than a minute to go. We were up by 3. I knew that girl was going to drain every one of them, and she did. We squeaked that one out, and then East Hall is an amazing rivalry we have with them already. So that game still, I'm still in the clouds about that East Hall game because there's very few times where as a coach you can just watch your kids execute and watch things click. And everything clicked for us in that championship game. In the biggest moment, things just went our way, and we played outstanding. So I was really proud of the effort that we had. And after we won the game, I'm usually not speechless, but there was very little I said to the kids. I honestly sat back and enjoyed watching them celebrate. That was a special moment, just watching them celebrate and watching the joy in their faces, and seeing the seniors mixed with the sigh of relief, and also just their faces where's everything. They're just emotional and excited and joyful, and really summed up what the game's about.
Well,
Coach.
absolutely, because
Coach.
those kids, they last remember Gainesville winning the championship when they were in middle school.
Yep.
Coach,
So,
I didn't mean to cut you off, Coach, but I do want to talk to you about the North Hall game, because me and Rob, we sat there. You saw us there all 3 nights. But we sat there and we watched y'all play against North Hall, and the way y'all pulled that game off, it was impressive, man. Especially, that was my first time really getting to see the Kiki Jones girls play.
Yeah.
And that girl, she's amazing, man. She's tough. She's short. She play hard. She can get to the cup. She can knock down shots. And then you got the Teasley. Like, Coach, man, y'all played a great game that day to beat a well-coached North Hall team, man.
Thank you.
I was amazed by Kiki.
She's tough, boy. She is tough, and the thing I love about Kiki is it don't matter if it's Lanierland or if it's a summer game at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's what you're gonna get out of her. And she's one of those special kids you don't have to teach to go hard. They automatically do it anyways. So she had an incredible tournament.
Yes, she did.
And definitely, when you talk about any successful run, you need a lot of balance on your program. You have exceptional scorer and a hard-nosed nut to crack in Kiki, but also let's talk about your interior presence with Lauren Teasley. Obviously, she came in, and while she may have gone through some roller coasters, it seems like this year, because we're dealing with teenagers, are we not? And she stepped up to have a really big performance against East Hall. What expectations did you guys set for her, as well as what do you feel that she had set for herself?
Well, we asked Lauren to take a little bit of a different role. In our region, we see a lot of long kids, tall kids. In our region, we see traditional lineups, meaning we see a point guard, 2 shooting guards, a power forward in the center. And Lauren is a prototypical 3-4. At the next level, I think she'll play a 3 or a 4. And so we kind of let her be inside, outside. We let her do a lot of slashing in the region play. But coming into Lanierland, Cherokee Bluff's pretty big. But North Hall and East Hall both are 5-guard lineups. So we felt like we would have a huge advantage if we played her primarily in the paint, which we haven't asked her to do, unless we're facing the zone. Because she can shoot the ball too. She's one of our better 3-point shooters, and I don't think she took but 2 or 3 the whole tournament. So we played her out of the paint all 3 days, and she came up huge for us because people had to double team her in the paint. People would double team her in the paint. They'd leave open Kiki or Sadie on the perimeter, and we'd get some shots that way. But we also asked her to run hard in transition. And I think looking back at the East Hall game, that may have been the biggest factor. Is we got her a couple, 3 or 4 layups from her running in transition hard, rim run to the basket. Zaria Williams, our point guard, did a great job making some 50-foot passes to get her easy shots, and then just her presence defensively. in the East Hall game, and in the North Hall game, she was guarding, a 5'7" kid, and so she is athletic enough to guard a slashing shooting guard or go post up in the paint. So she's just real versatile and was huge for us in the tournament.
And with her, with that kind of momentum, I mean, obviously, your last game before Cherokee Bluff was against Arlington Christian. So you really had basically about 9 to 10 days to focus on Cherokee Bluff and get the girls focused on winning. What sort of adjustments did you feel you needed to make going into the tournament after a relatively competitive schedule you guys have had this year? What type of adjustments do you feel you needed to make going into the tournament?
We had to get used to playing with our entire starting lineup. And talk about the era of COVID. I mean, it's made me a better coach because we've played kids for longer minutes than they would normally play off the bench. And I've had a different starting lineup every game up until Lanierland. And I've missed at least one starter every game up until Lanierland. So we didn't have a lot of chemistry with our best 5-6 players who are our normal starters. So we kind of had to focus in on that a little bit. We've had a lot of players playing out of position, just trying to make up, and so we kind of all had to ground ourselves into what places were the best for certain kids at certain times. Funny story, Sadie Roach is our shooting guard and one of our better rebounders, one of our better defenders, and she plays 32 minutes of every game, and she plays 32 minutes. She's played 32 minutes just about every game I've coached her in 3 years. Wow. And she asked to come out. She asked to come out against Cherokee Bluff. And I looked at her. What do you mean? And then I realized she hadn't played. So we've had so many kids who have had to be in and out of the lineup where I was worried about our legs. And you do have a week off. So we took that week to condition and just get good in our roles.
Excellent. Well, and I mean, one thing I'm going to need you to talk to somebody. Somebody needs to correct that max prep score. They got you guys losing the East Hall.
Yeah.
But this has put you in a 5-game winning streak, obviously, and what a great time to end the year like that. You open up this coming Friday, you get back on the court again with region play. Unfortunately, you guys are 0-3. What are you hoping that Lanierland experience, as well as getting some players back, is going to help you going into the region? Second half.
I've always been concerned coming out of Lanierland because it's so important to the kids, and it's so important to me and every coach in Hall County. Every coach in Hall County after Lanierland has to do one or two things. They either have to encourage their kids that Lanierland's not the end of the season and we're getting into region play, and we gotta learn and grow from it, which we've had to do for the past 2 years. Or in my case this year, we did not end the season as champions.
Right.
We have a lot left to do, and we can't peak in December. Nobody wants a team to peak in December.
No.
So we got to make sure that we're getting better every single day from this moment on. And Lanierland can serve as a great jumping board from that, but it can also go to complacency if you let it.
Absolutely.
Coach, what type of goals do y'all have going into region? Like, what type of goals you not set with your team or yourself?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we want to go and compete for a region championship, which is a tall order. There's really good basketball in Forsyth County. And every Forsyth County team seems to have a kid who is just a next level player. But we want to compete for a region championship, and we want to go to the state tournament, and we don't want to go, when we go to the state tournament, we want to keep playing. So we got a lot of work ahead of us.
Coach, talk about, you mentioned your travels, obviously 13 years being an educator, 11 being a head coach. You coached both football and now basketball, both on the boys and girls side.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us the difference between South Georgia basketball and North Georgia basketball.
Well, I'll tell you about Southwest Georgia basketball.
That'll work.
Southwest Georgia has the best athletes that nobody's ever heard of.
Amen.
I was working at Pacelli, now old Corey Black.
Yes, Corey Black is a good friend of ours.
Came behind me, and Corey is absolutely rolling. I'm so proud of the job he's done at Pacelli. But when I was at Pacelli, I got the head job when I was 22, 23 years old. Wasn't ready for it. But there was, when you coach in single A, you ride a senior class. And that senior class leaves, and it's a rebuild. So single A sports is a constant rebuild. And I got the job in that rebuild cycle. And I mean, I was begging soccer players and baseball players to come out and play, and we weren't very good. And my first 4 years, Contavious Caldwell Pope was in the region with us at Gainesville High School.
Wow.
And I will tell you what.
You didn't want to quit then?
Oh man. I'll never forget. We held them to 25 one night, and I felt like we won the Super Bowl. He was incredible. And, the old Contavious Caldwell Pope, now playing with LeBron, started out grinding in high school basketball in Greenville, Georgia. Didn't go to a prep school, didn't go, one of the most humblest kids you would have ever watched play high school basketball. Just think the world of Ken. But he played on a team that had so he was a starter. Then he played on a basketball team with 4 other Division I athletes.
Wow.
And, Greenville High School probably doesn't have 300 kids in it. And I can tell you stories about that, about schools in that area with that kind of talent. I don't know if y'all recall Montavious Adams played at defensive line at Auburn.
Yes.
He played high school basketball at Dooley County. And so there's a bunch of Division I athletes who come out of that area. Incredible athleticism. I will say this: South Georgia is ran by football. I feel like North Georgia is more of a basketball area.
You think?
I do. And it's the way people support the teams. On a Friday night in any of our schools here in Hall County, think about Lumpkin County, White County, Stevens County, you go to a basketball game, non-pandemic years on a Friday night, and, the gym's going to be full.
Yep.
Here in North Georgia, we still play that late bill, that 7:00 girls tip, 8:30 boys tip, where it's the main event of the community. You won't find that in South Georgia. Friday night basketball game is going to start at 6 and 7:30. It's just little things like that where I think the basketball community is a little stronger here in North Georgia. I hear fans responding to good plays. I think the fans are more educated in basketball here. I know that sounds crazy, but just little things like when a team gets an offensive rebound and pulls it out and swings it, fans respond to that, and that you hear educated. It's an educated fan base here in North Georgia that you don't find everywhere. And You know, the full gyms, you're not going to find a Christmas tournament with the fire marshal shutting it down in South Georgia.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, North Georgia, it is big in basketball, but I know football is just the king of Georgia.
It is, yeah.
But
It's appreciated up here.
yeah.
I'll say that.
Coach, I always wanted to ask you this. Did you feel any pressure coming in, you know, Gainesville 3 years ago, coming in after Coach Hill, Brenda Hill? Because, you know, she's from here and, you know, her daughter graduated from here. Her daughter, she's like the greatest girls basketball player who ever played at Gainesville.
Yeah.
Did you feel any pressure?
That's a good question. I think I always just feel pressure on myself to put together a good program, and, you know, taking over a new position, you know, and folks didn't necessarily know me. So there was that pressure, and taking over a program like Gainesville, where, you know, every time you walk on that court, you're seeing those state championship numbers. You know, every day I walk to my office in the gym, I'm passing those state championship teams. So there's, I wouldn't say necessarily pressure as much as excitement to know that the possibility to win a state championship and a region championship is present, and, you know, just the winning culture has already been established. So that's an exciting thing.
Excellent. I mean, Coach, just when you talk about the way your team has come around, and in the 3 years, what have you noticed has been the biggest growth within your program right now?
You know, I was lucky that when I came in, we had 3 sophomores who, I got Lauren, Sadie, and Araya as sophomores. And they are a cornerstone of the program, and they have shown up every day. And they've shown up and worked every day. So to watch them grow as individuals and as basketball players has been awesome. But also to watch them helping grow the team and grow the numbers on the team and grow the accountability on the team has been exciting. And that's, you know, what I've noticed most is, you know, the things that I used to have to say to get practice started, to get yourself focused to start practice, to make sure you're wearing your practice uniform, and, you know, do those little things. Those little things are starting to be embedded. And you know, so I just think back to certain practice drills we do that they might have tried to go half speed in. You know, now those things aren't half speed. So just watching our team embrace the little things has been the thing that I've noticed the most. So for example, we do 2 passing drills to start every practice. Just everybody in the country does them. But one thing we do is you have to say the name. So you're making a pass, you say the name. And if you watch us play, when we make a pass in a game, we say their name. And it saved us 2 or 3 times, because I remember playing at Denmark, and Kiki made a pass to Lauren, and Lauren wasn't looking, and Kiki yells, "Lauren," makes the pass. Lauren snaps her head, catches the pass, and we're off and running. So to see them embrace those little things and then take them into the game is really what I'm starting to notice.
Great.
Coach, who do you learn from? Like, who taught you coming up? Like, who did you want to idolize, like being a coach? Or is it some girls' college basketball coach or a men's basketball coach that you love watching, playing, and you just pick their brain and you just, you know, you got the offense around their offense?
Well, I'm not the first Alan Griffin in the state of Georgia to coach girls basketball. My dad, Alan Griffin Sr., was a very successful girls basketball coach in the Augusta area. Had an undefeated season with Aquinas in 1977, I think it was, coached at Westside. made some other stops. So I grew up as a coach's son. Since I became a professional, I actually got to be good friends with Thad Burgess, who's now at Oconee County. And me and Thad got matched up in the when I was at Pacelli, we got matched up in the Atlanta Hawks thing, the Court of Dreams, and I beat him by a point. It was my second win ever. We hit a last-second shot. A kid who I recruited off the soccer team to play hit a last-second shot, and he wasn't allowed to shoot. But he took a shot last second. We beat him, and me and Thad struck up a conversation. He's been a lifelong friend. Learned a ton from him. And then just recently, I call Jarvis Davenport once a week. And I tell you what, I think one of the best head coaches in the state of Georgia has the office 2 doors down from me. That's Chuck Graham. Chuck is a master when it comes to player development. And so I'm constantly in Chuck's office run through things with him. And he's been a huge factor in my development over the past 3 years.
Excellent. Now, Coach, let's have a little fun with this now.
All right.
Talked a lot of shop, talked a lot of now. Barbecue from South Georgia, barbecue from North Georgia. Talk to me. These are critical things here.
You're absolutely right. And let me go and tell you, Southwest Georgia and Columbus, about Columbus barbecue. They got some world famous barbecue restaurants in Columbus, but I don't love it because it's that mustard based sauce.
That was going to be my next question.
I need that sweet red barbecue sauce, maybe a little hot. So anywhere with just traditional barbecue sauce is what I'm going to lean towards.
You know what? That's a man spoken out of my own heart right there. Got to have a little spice, but have a little sweetness to it at the same time.
That's right. I don't want the mustard based. I don't want the vinegar based. Just give me that good red sweet barbecue.
And what superstitious thing do you do prior to court? Prior to getting into the court, going into the game? Because I know some coaches like to take full-blown showers. Other coaches like to eat at certain restaurants. Talk to me.
There's 3 things that have stood the test of my career. I always shave the night before.
Okay.
I never go into a game scruffy, so I always shave the night before. I always change clothes prior to the game. So I know, some coaches may wear what they teach in or whatnot. I always bring something to coach in. And then I always pray during the national anthem. I just have a private prayer with me, myself, and I during the national anthem. So those are the 3 things that I always do.
I can appreciate that. And one last thing, if there was an opportunity to see a game or pay for a ticket to watch a game of any sport, what would it be and why?
That is a great question. I've been very blessed that in my dad's retirement, my dad has tried to hit his bucket list of sporting events. And so growing up as an Augusta boy, I've gotten to go to the Masters quite a few times. My dad grew up in New York, so one of his things was to go to a Yankees game, which we knocked off a couple of years ago. But the number one thing that I'd like to do that I have yet gotten that opportunity is to go to a football game at Notre Dame.
Oh, look, first of all, now to follow up on that question, where's your dad from in New York?
He's from Yonkers.
I'm from New York too, so I'm from Queens. So kudos to that, man. And then I have attended a Notre Dame game. It is by far one of the best experiences. Are you a Notre Dame fan, by the way?
I am.
Ah, man.
Yes, let's go. Now you become one of my favorite coaches in the state of Georgia.
I'm going to say this to both of y'all right now. I like Notre Dame, but please quit going to the Final Four. Like, please keep
Listen.
Hey, you and everybody else in the country saying that right now.
Listen, and here's the thing. The people around the country need to understand and appreciate that if Notre Dame did not join the ACC or play football this year, there would be no Final Four. Boom.
Yeah. We saved everybody is what happened.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Well, Coach Griff, man, we appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
We, thank you for taking time on a Sunday, go enjoy the family.
Yes.
Or be able to watch some football on TV. And we appreciate you just spending some time. Good luck the rest of the year, okay?
Yes,
absolutely. Thank y'all so much. Look forward to seeing y'all in the gym somewhere.
Absolutely. Take care.
Coach.
See y'all.
Yes, sir.